They said I kidnapped my own son. I didn't. But when the police showed up with handcuffs and court orders, it was too late to explain. And the person who turned me in was the man I once trusted with my life. My name is Jessica Holloway. I'm 31. And before all of this, I thought my life was finally starting to stabilize. It was just me and Eli, my 5-year-old boy. He loved dinosaurs, peanut butter sandwiches, and asking the most impossible questions at bedtime, like, do birds know they're flying? Or, why did Daddy stop loving us? I didn't know how to answer those, because truth is, I used to ask myself the same. Travis and I were never married. We met at a 4th of July barbecue. He was charming, helpful, attentive, but charm doesn't mean kind, and attention can come with chains. By the time I realized he was controlling, I was already pregnant. He didn't hit me, but he monitored everything: who I saw, where I went, what I spent. He protected me from my friends. He corrected me when I didn't discipline Eli the way he wanted. He warned me about what life would be like as a single mom. When Eli turned 4, I told Travis I was leaving. He said he understood, said he'd still be in Eli's life, said we could be adults about it. No court battles, no drama, just shared time. And for a while it worked. I had Eli during the week. Travis picked him up on Fridays and dropped him back on Sundays. Simple, until it wasn't. 3 weeks into the arrangement, Travis asked if he could keep Eli a few extra days. His parents were in town. They missed him. I said yes. And that was the last time I saw my son without a sheriff standing beside me. When I called on Thursday night to check in, Travis didn't answer. By Friday, I was calling every 5 minutes. His phone was off. His social media, wiped. I drove to his apartment. Empty, no furniture, no neighbors, no note. I went to the police, but without a custody order, they said it was a civil matter. They couldn't intervene. I stood in that cold station lobby holding a photo of Eli and begging them to help, but all I got was paperwork. And then, 2 days later, I got served. A court summons, filed in another county, claiming I had kidnapped Eli, that I was emotionally unstable, that I was attempting to alienate the child from his father, that I posed a threat to Eli's well-being. It didn't make sense, but it was real, stamped, signed, filed. I went numb. I called every lawyer I could afford, and a few I couldn't. Most said the same thing: he beat you to court. He controls the narrative now. And it got worse, because the next knock on my door wasn't from a friend. It was from Child Protective Services. They were investigating a report, anonymous but detailed, said I had mood swings, that I was neglecting my child, that I had a history of mental health issues. None of it was true, but now I was under scrutiny, not Travis. At the emergency custody hearing, he walked in wearing a suit, smiling, calm, said I had blocked his calls, said he was deeply concerned for Eli's safety, said he only left because I was erratic and threatening. I tried to speak. The judge told me to wait my turn. And when my lawyer finally got to respond, the damage was done. The judge granted Travis temporary full custody, said I could have supervised visitation, pending further evaluation. I collapsed outside that courtroom, but I didn't give up. Over the next 2 weeks, I gathered everything: messages, emails, voicemails, photos of bruises Travis left on walls, not on me, but near me. Enough to scare, enough to silence. A journal I'd kept for 3 years. Testimonies from my therapist, my boss, Eli's daycare teachers, and I recorded something, a phone call. Travis forgot to block his number once. I picked up, I kept calm. He told me everything: that I'd never win, that the system doesn't care about moms like me, that if I stayed quiet, maybe Eli would grow up to visit. It was sick, and I recorded every word. I took it to court, with everything else, and the judge still didn't reverse custody, but he agreed to a review, a full hearing, with cross-examination, with witnesses. That hearing is tomorrow. And I don't know if I'll win, but I know I'm not backing down, because I didn't kidnap my son. I'm fighting to get him back. The night before the hearing, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined Eli in some strange apartment, sleeping in a bed that didn't smell like home. Did he miss his nightlight? Did he still ask for his dinosaur pajamas? Was he scared? I stared at the ceiling and prayed. Not the kind of prayer you say in church, but the kind that comes from desperation. That ugly, quiet pleading that you whisper into the dark because you don't know what else to do. I showed up to court the next morning with shaking hands and a USB drive in my purse. Travis was already there, smiling, confident, surrounded by his lawyer, his new girlfriend, and, somehow, his parents. They looked at me like I was a stain on the floor. But I had one thing they didn't: the truth. The judge began by reviewing the accusations: that I was unstable, that I'd taken Eli without consent, that I had threatened to flee the state. Travis's lawyer presented a neat little narrative, emails taken out of context, a video of me raising my voice, recorded during one of Travis's weekend pickups when I refused to let Eli go after he came home bruised. Then it was my turn. My lawyer began with my journal entries, photos, statements from Eli's daycare teachers, saying how often he returned on Mondays anxious or withdrawn. Then, we played the recording. The courtroom went silent. Travis's voice clear as day. "You think you're smart? You think anyone's going to believe you? I've already filed. I'm already the victim, Jess. The system works for me now, not you, so shut your mouth or you'll lose him for good." The judge asked for it to be played again. This time, Travis's face changed. That smug expression drained into something darker. He stopped making eye contact. His lawyer whispered something, but he just stared ahead. When it was over, the judge looked at me and said, "Miss Holloway, we'll be reviewing this immediately. I'm issuing a temporary order of shared custody, effective today." I almost collapsed. But it wasn't over, because something unexpected happened during recess. A woman, early 40s, approached me outside the courtroom. She was shaking. "You don't know me," she said, "but I dated Travis, years ago, before you." She pulled out her phone and showed me messages, photos, screenshots, a restraining order. He had done the same thing to her, filed against her, claimed she was unstable, took their daughter, moved cities, but she hadn't fought. She had no resources, no help. She lost custody and hadn't seen her child in 8 years. Her voice cracked. "Please, finish this. Expose him." I gave her my lawyer's number. She gave a sworn statement. And suddenly, Travis wasn't just facing custody issues. He was facing perjury, fraud, patterned abuse. 2 more women came forward in the weeks that followed. Different cities, same tactics, different names, same control. The case evolved from a custody dispute into a legal pattern of manipulation across state lines. The audio I recorded wasn't just used for my case. It triggered an entirely new investigation into Travis for custodial interference, identity manipulation, and fraudulent filings across state lines. When the subpoenas hit his bank records, everything unraveled. He had moved money from joint accounts, used Eli's social security number on rental documents, filed for government support listing himself as a single father under threat. It was never about the child, it was always about control. 2 months later, the court awarded me full legal and physical custody of Eli. No supervision, no restrictions. Travis was issued a 5-year restraining order. The last time I saw him, he wasn't in a courtroom. He was in an orange jumpsuit, looking down, silent. He didn't smile that time. Eli came home. It took time, therapy, and more bedtime stories than I can count. But he smiles again. He sleeps through the night. He draws dinosaurs with 3 legs and names them after breakfast cereal. We're okay, and I'm not hiding anymore. Not from him, not from the shame, not from the system that failed me for a moment, but helped me in the end. Because truth? You don't lose your child the day they're taken. You lose them the day you stop fighting. And I didn't stop. This video is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents are either the product of the author's imagination or used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. The purpose of this story is to raise awareness about emotional manipulation, legal abuse, and the importance of custody protection.